kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently. We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And please forgive my tardiness. All right, I was sending out emails to the people on my email list and also getting the link ready to post for the spiritual channel, which is going to be live shortly after this. Okay, so hello, Jeff ATL, Leon Gardner in the house, Cookie, Buckhorse DC, Most Hated Bronze Flat Power God. All right, Terry Brown Sugar Melanin, Lady Libra is here, Trisha. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Likes up. Please go ahead and like and share this video. I appreciate your cooperation and participation. And remember, it's the least you can do for the Queen's hard work. Doesn't cost you a thing. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, all hell nah, it's Hill Laverne, Ethelene, December. All right, 504 Nola's in the house, Stephanie, Poetical Winds. Excuse me, Empress is here. Silent D is in the house. Eagle Eyes, Pearly. Okay, let's get into it, you guys. Now, see, y'all gonna start listening to the Queen. Y'all are gonna learn to listen to the Queen because didn't I tell you guys that in fact, hey Cookie, didn't I tell you guys that in fact, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, is nefarious? Didn't I say it? Didn't I call it? While everybody's sitting here worried so much about Tony Busby. All right? All right, so let's go ahead and get this party started. Now, hey, Dangerous, Akia is in the house. Akia Matrix. All right. So before I get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Okay? And you have time to like the video. All right? Please pay attention.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so that all been said, you can purchase 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, let's talk about this because, like I said, I told you guys this man's nefarious. All right, I told you guys the flamboyant lawyer trying to keep Eric Adams out of prison, Alex Spiro, has won big for Jay-Z and Bob Kraft. The mayor may be his toughest case yet. Now, you know, because he has worked for Jay-Z in the past. Now, with that all being said, now listen to it. And this case they're referencing about him winning for Jay-Z was in the case of Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Now, I played audio for you last week about what Dame Dash had to say about him. Okay, and it just confirmed what I was already thinking. So the attorney Alex Spiro followed his client, Mayor Eric Adams, into the lobby-level courtroom in Manhattan of federal judge Dale Ho. Now, it had been 6 days since the mayor was indicted, and Spiro had already launched an aggressive defense. At the Wednesday hearing, Spiro argued that it was the Justice Department, represented by the 4 prosecutors sitting nearby, who had done something wrong by leaking information about the indictment. He also claimed that prosecutors were being slow with sharing material in discovery and made the case for a trial sooner rather than later, as early as February, saying, "I know how to try cases and I will be ready for trial. We expect the mayor to be acquitted quickly." Now, mind you, this is from October, okay? We'll get into the current litigations in a moment. Now, but the hearing did not quite go as planned for the defense attorney. Spiro fumbled an argument about the ballot certification for New Year's primary, and Judge Ho appeared skeptical that the ballot would be affected much by the trial. Now, the arguments about the alleged leaks devolved into whether Adams would take advantage of obtruse court rules that could have forced the government to move faster, all but erasing the prosecution's advantage of extra time, if the argument succeeded, that is. Now, at one point, the government detailed at length the kind of evidence that it plans to lay out in a likely superseding indictment, including apparent allegations of witness tampering, defendants, and issues with Adams' cell phone, only for Spiro to interrupt. "I'm going to object to the continual 20-minute opening statement," he said. Instead, Ho allowed prosecutors to go ahead and continue. Now, Spiro is one of the city's most familiar stock characters, a brawling, meticulously groomed, in-your-face attorney whose client list draws from the upper heights of the world's wealthiest and most notorious. Adams, of course, is another kind of New York fixture, the made-for-the-tabloids mayor trailed by corruption allegations. Now, the fact that they found each other amid Adams' historic indictment for bribery and fraud is probably not surprising. You see, Spiro has represented Jay-Z, Mick Jagger, and Alec Baldwin, all to success. Now, but while Spiro's confrontational style has brought him a book of clients that would be the envy of any defense attorney, the Adams case is proving to be wildly unpredictable, and it could humble lawyer and client alike. Don't worry, I'm going to prove my point. Now, he's got a lot of zealousness for the clients he represents. He's very tenacious and he won't give up. This is what Daniel L. Brockett, the chair of Quinn Emanuel's financial litigation practice, says. You know that if you're going to trial against Alex, he's going to have uncovered every potential angle, every potential stone to make sure that he's given his client the best service possible. He's a terrific attorney and he's very tenacious, very, very hardworking, and very much driven to win. Mind you, this is somebody who works with them, okay, at the same firm. Now, what do you expect them to say? Now, I'm not saying that he isn't in all of this, but he's some other things too. Now, step one for a high-profile criminal defense attorney is attacking the government's allegations. Hours after U.S. Attorney Damian Williams laid out the 57-page indictment, Spiro zeroed in on count 5, bribery. Now, according to prosecutors, when he was Brooklyn Borough president in 2021, Adams pressured fire department officials to approve the opening of the brand new Turkish consulate, allegedly in exchange for airline and hotel perks that he previously received, a supposedly cut and dry quid pro quo case, saying this case. Now, I want you all to pay attention because remember, This is dealing with Turkish officials. All right. Now, this case isn't even a real case. This is an airline upgrade corporations case, a corruption case. This is what Spiro said during a press conference following Adams' not guilty plea. Now, then Spiro fleshed out the argument for a different audience, the judge overseeing the case. The connection between the quid and the quo was not clear, Spiro argued. Now, the connection was not clear, and the upgrades were mere gratuities, not evidence of anything nefarious. The consulate wasn't even in Brooklyn. The indictment in this case alleges a bribery scheme that does not meet the definition of bribery and indeed does not amount to a federal crime at all. Now, this is what he said. Now, on paper, Spiro is the co-chair of the investigations, government enforcement, and the white-collar defense practice at QueenAShakur and Sullivan, the kind of firm you call if you're a hedge fund billionaire or you're suing the IRS or up for a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court. Spiro leads a staff of 100 in his Miami office. Okay, we're going to skip past all of this. Now, I just want to give you all the background on this whole thing. And he's also one of Elon Musk's hardcore street fighter attorneys. And he represented Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, who was once charged in a low-level prostitution offense. Well, it wasn't low-level prostitution as far as I'm concerned. It had something to do with S trafficking. And I already told you all about that. And it was down there in Mar-a-Lago at Trump's resort. Okay, so please pay attention. Okay, so now that you've heard that, so you clearly see that they're saying that he's representing. Hold on, I see somebody wants to troll. Fernando said, "What the F? This ain't Miss Cleo." Fernando, please sit down somewhere. Okay, I'm sure you heard me say the other day that people often call me Miss Cleo because I'm a psychic. All right, please sit down somewhere. Okay, we don't have time for trolls. Now, with that all being said, now I'm not going to say Alex Spiro isn't a good attorney because I absolutely think that he is. But I think that he's an attorney who engages in shady practices. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now he's working at the behest of Eric Adams, who is accused of having some corruption going on with Turkish officials. But what's interesting about all of this is that just the other day, in fact, it was yesterday, this information came out. Now, let me pull this up real quick. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here it is. Now, y'all tell me if this isn't shady. I mean, I find it all sketchy. Mayor Adams' lawyer joins board of Turkish ride-hailing app. I say, what now? I want you all to pay attention. Okay? Sounds like they're trying to put Uber out of business, but that's not even the point. Now, how are you defending Mayor Adams, who's accused of being involved in corruption with Turkish officials, bribery no less, amongst other things, but now you're in bed with Turkish officials? So let's talk about it. A Turkish transportation app that connects users with taxis, e-bikes, and electronic scooters has named the attorney representing Mayor Eric Adams in his federal corruption case to its board of directors. I'm sorry, does that make sense to anybody? Please let me know if it does. Now, the Istanbul-based Marty Technologies announced late this week that its board elected Alex Spiro as a director during its 2024 annual shareholder meeting. Now, with that all being said, in New York, Spiro is representing Adams in a federal case alleging that the mayor accepted bribes from Turkish nationals in exchange for pressuring the FDNA officials to fast-track the opening of a skyscraper known as the Turkish House, which holds a new Turkish consulate. Spiro did not immediately respond to a message seeking comment on Wednesday morning. Oh, I'm sure he didn't have anything to say about that. But he wants to talk about Tony Buzbee and act like Tony Buzbee's so corrupt. Please keep listening. Now, in a press release, he said that he's worked with some of the greatest entrepreneurs and CEOs in the world. But Marty's CEO and his team are among the best I've ever seen. I am pleased to support them and the company as we reach scale and achieve profitability in 2025. Now, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York unsealed an indictment against Adams in September, accusing him of accepting more than $100,000 worth of flight upgrades on Turkish Airlines, as well as lavish accommodations during his frequent visits to Istanbul. In return, prosecutors say Adams asked fire officials to allow the Turkish house to open before it could pass fire inspection, agreed not to make statements about the Armenian genocide on a 2022 Memorial Day, and appointed a Turkish Airlines manager to his transition team. You are a true friend of Turkey. This is what a Turkish official texted the then Brooklyn borough president after Adams allegedly told him that the fire department in New York was drafting a letter to expedite the opening of the Turkish house, according to the indictment. Yes, even more a true friend of yours. You are my brother, Adams allegedly responded. Now, mind you, they had his text messages and emails and all that. Earlier this week, Turkish-born businessman Erdin Arkan agreed to plead guilty to a conspiracy charge in connection with the case against Adams. Now, prosecutors say Arkan, identified in Adams' indictment as businessman number 5, illegally made campaign contributions under another name to get public matching funds, according to a letter the U.S. Attorney's Office filed earlier this week. Adams has denied any wrongdoing, and Spiro has pledged to fiercely defend his client. The mayor's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Spiro's election to Marty's board. I bet they didn't. Now, Spiro is known for his aggressive legal defense and roster of high-profile clients, including Brooklyn rappers Jay-Z and Bobby Shmurda. We'll talk about how he did Bobby Shmurda in just a second. Former Knicks player Charles Oakley and actor Alec Baldwin and tech mogul Elon Musk. Now, his experience with a broad range of clients across the fields of business and politics in the U.S., and most notably with leading global technology entrepreneurs, gives me confidence that he will contribute to our company and mission. This is what Marty, founder and CEO of Goose Alper Oak Team, said in a press release. Now, I want you all to pay attention before I go further. Are y'all listening to this? Are y'all hearing this? Now, this man's client is accused by the feds, no less, of having been involved in corruption with Turkish officials, but then his lawyer, well, he goes and then becomes a member of the board of directors for these Turkish officials. Don't y'all find that interesting? You see, this is like me suing Starbucks or being involved in something nefarious with Starbucks, but then my attorney goes and gets hired to be one of their board of directors. Okay, do you all not see the conflict of interest here? You all don't think that's sketchy, but he wants us to think that Tony Busby is so nefarious? Okay, I just want you all to pay attention. Empress says Spiro did Tory Lanez as well. Well, he did a whole bunch of people. I mean, the list is long. But at the end of the day, I find this all nefarious. Alpha Omega said Adams should be locked up. This is very interesting, okay? This is absolutely very interesting, but hold on. Now, let's go through some of the legal documents, which I'm going to share on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I want to go over a few of these documents that pertain to Eric Adams' case. Because here's what it looks like is going on. Who's really running New York? Who's really running things? Is it Mayor Adams or is it Alex Spiro? Because you see, what it looks like to me is that during his defense of Mayor Eric Adams, he started looking into and seeing the finances, the shares and benefits that these Turkish nationals that they have, this money that they're making. And he likely, and this is my opinion and pure speculation, but he could have said to them, yeah, I see what's going on here. And I can leak this information through a third party, or you need to cut me in on this deal. I want to get on the board of directors. Okay, how many shares can I get? All right, this is what it sounds like to me. Okay, now I could be wrong, but then again, I could be absolutely right. Now, I want you all to pay attention because I've worked with attorneys starting when I was in college for an internship. So I know how some of these attorneys get down, specifically because my attorney or the attorney that I was working with, the first one specifically, schooled me on these things. Okay? Specifically as it pertains to how they do shady practices when it involves certain things like real estate deals. Because the ultimate goal for many of them is just the money. All right? So he could have told them, listen, put me on the board of directors. I want in on the scam. Otherwise, I can leak the information of the corruption you're engaged in through a third party. Now, why would he have to leak it through a third party? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Because if he leaked it himself, that would definitely be unethical because he's representing someone who is already accused of being in cahoots with them. Are y'all listening? Are y'all listening? But let's continue. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, this was filed on December the 19th. Dear Judge Ho, since the unsealing of the indictment in this case, defense counsel has repeatedly made false public statements. Now, see, I told you guys that Alex Spiro was a liar. And you all should know he's a liar because he lied and said Jay-Z and Diddy weren't friends ever. But keep listening, because this is what the prosecution wrote a letter to the judge about as it pertains to him in his case with Mayor Eric Adams. Okay, since the unsealing of the indictment in this case, defense counsel has repeatedly made false public statements about the facts and evidence in this case that violate Local Criminal Rule 23.1. Now, the government alerted defense counsel to such violations in late September of 2024, and on November the 4th of 2024, the court cautioned that this case is to be tried in the courtroom and not in the press. Nonetheless, defense counsel has continued to violate the rule, including as recently as December 17th of 2024. Accordingly, the government respectfully submits this letter to request that the court direct counsel for the parties to comply with the rule. Now, it is the duty of the lawyer or firm not to release or authorize the release of non-public information or opinion that a reasonable person would expect to be disseminated by means of public communication in connection with pending or imminent criminal litigation with which they are associated, if there is a substantial likelihood that the dissemination will interfere with a fair trial or otherwise prejudice the due administration of justice. Local Criminal Rule 23.1 goes on to identify various categories of public statements that presumptively interfere with a fair trial or otherwise prejudice the due administration of justice. For example, the rule provides in relevant part that statements of opinion as to the accused's guilt or innocence, or as to the merits of the case or the evidence in the case, are among those that presumptively involve a substantial likelihood that their public dissemination will interfere with a fair trial or otherwise prejudice the due administration of justice. Now, on December 17th of 2024, following the court's issuance of a written decision denying the defendant's motion to dismiss count 5 of the indictment, the New York Times reported the following statement from defense counsel regarding the court's opinion. Alex Spiro, one of Mr. Adams' lawyers, said in a statement on Tuesday that the ruling was evidence that the prosecution's case was contrived, saying it took several months for the court to unwind its legal theories, questioning several of them in its ruling, and proving the point that this case was simply invented to harm Mayor Adams and not about justice. Now, with that all being said, this is the complaint that the prosecutors had. Now, I think I read you all this before. So we're going to move on to his response to all of this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, let me pull up the second piece of paperwork. And I'm going to stop the share for a second. Okay, now here we go. Now, here's what he had to say in response to the prosecution's allegations. Now, he says, Dear Judge Ho, I write in response to the government's letter regarding alleged violations of Southern District of New York Local Criminal Rule 23.1. Since the beginning of this case, the government has made false and unethical comments calculated to mislead the public, this letter being the latest example. Now, those comments have raised a substantial likelihood of prejudice to a fair trial by the poisoning of the public narrative and undermining Mayor Adams' presumption of innocence. That includes statements at a televised press conference for the U.S. Attorney, Assistant FBI Director, and other government officials that Mayor Adams is perverted by greed and dishonesty. Well, in my opinion, it sounds like Alex Spiro is the one perverted by greed and dishonesty. Because, like I said, why is he on the board of directors for these Turkish individuals? Now, it goes on to say that he abused his power and position for nearly a decade. These are the accusations. Okay, but put the interest of his benefactors, including a foreign official, above those of his constituents, year after year after year. Kept the public in the dark while being showered with improper gifts, engaged in a grave breach of the public's interest, the public's trust, abused the privilege of public office, and crossed bright red lines again and again for years. And all of that does not even begin to account for the government's repeated pre-indictment press leaks and disinformation suggesting Mayor Adams was involved in criminal conduct. Now, while the government now feigns concern for a fair trial, every public statement by defense counsel was made after the government's extensive PR campaign and sought only to correct the false narrative that has already irreparably prejudiced Mr. Adams. From the beginning, Mayor Adams advised the government that he did not want to interfere with the investigation by engaging with the media. Neither Mayor Adams nor his defense counsel did so, despite nearly a year of leaks widely circulated to major news outlets, or the militaristic investigatory methods of the government, or that the government deployed, including seizing of mayor's devices on a public street and sending the FBI to Gracie Mansion, both highly publicized, when a simple phone call to defense counsel would have achieved the same result. Only when the indictment was unsealed and the government continued its media barrage was defense counsel finally forced to speak publicly to counteract the government's one-sided and prejudicial commentary that it has been unwilling or unable to stop. Indeed, even now, the government spends pages once again showcasing the supposed strengths of its case for public consumption. That false narrative, too, requires correcting. As a threshold matter, the government's letter fails to establish a violation of Local Rule 23.1. That rule prohibits public statement where there is a substantial likelihood that such dissemination will interfere with a fair trial or prejudice the due administration of justice. None of the statements the government complains of met that standard under the circumstances here. Defense counsel's statements were made in response to the government's and law enforcement's extensive leaks and press conference, as well as generally in response to the pre- and post-indictment media reporting, much of it patently inaccurate and prejudicial, that has been dominating New York's news cycles for more than a year. That is precisely why Mayor Adams moved for an evidentiary hearing and sanctions days after the indictment was filed. One need only look at the steady stream of articles from a single reporter, William Roshbaum at the New York Times, for a year before the indictment to understand the scope and severity of law enforcement's leaks of confidential grand jury material. Now, those articles reveal the identities of expected witnesses, describe specific grand jury subpoenas, subpoena targets, a description of the information subpoenaed, and even the contents of the then sealed indictment against Mayor Adams. Okay, the articles all from a single reporter who investigating whether Adams received illegal donations from Turkey. Okay, and then he references the article, says it came out in November of 2023, stating New York Times received a copy of the government search warrant of Breonna Suggs' home and devices the same day it was executed. William K. Roshbaum et al., FBA examining free airfare upgrades. Okay, I'm going to skip past all of this because he's just naming all the entities involved. The real risk to a fair trial here, accordingly, would have been if Mayor Adams had remained silent while the government peddled wide-ranging and false accusations of criminal wrongdoing, rather than issue a standard press release. The government instead initiated a media blitz and conducted a lengthy televised press conference that went far beyond the face of the indictment. Now, during that press conference, the U.S. attorney stated he wanted to make things crystal clear that Mayor Adams engaged in a grave breach of the public's trust, abused the privilege of public office, broke the law, and crossed bright red lines again and again for years. At that same press conference, FBI Assistant Director James Dehaney smeared Mayor Adams as perverted by greed and dishonesty. Now, with this all being said, he goes on to say defense counsel acknowledges the court previously denied an evidentiary hearing after finding in part, based on the government's limited declaration, that Mayor Adams had not made out a prima facie violation of Rule 6. But as the court acknowledged, that single declaration was based on interviews with the relevant government officials rather than on statements from each of them individually. As Mayor Adams previously stated, that hearsay declaration does not refute that other government attorneys and agents leaked information, including to non-press middlemen, nor has the government ever articulated any plausible alternative explanation for the leaks. In any case, the government's continued leaks will be addressed by the defense in due course. Now, here's what I want you all to pay attention to. Because he's alleging that, in fact, the government has been leaking information to the press. Well, who else said the same thing? Who else said the same thing about the government allegedly leaking information to the press? And again, this is all occurring in the Southern District of New York. Well, isn't this the same complaint that Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, had? So do you guys think that all of these attorneys are just making this up, just accusing the feds of leaking information when in fact they haven't done that? Well, I believe that they absolutely are leaking information. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. I believe that they absolutely are leaking information, okay, to paint a narrative and to have the presumption of people being guilty prior, rather than proven or innocent until proven guilty, basically. Now, but with that all being said, it doesn't help Mayor Adams's plight for his own attorney to be sitting up here becoming a board of directors with the very people that he's accused of being in bed with. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now, I want you all to pay attention because this just shows that this man is nefarious. Okay, please pay attention. Now, let's go to this last document. And mind you, a man has recently pled guilty to these dealings with Mayor Eric Adams. Now, this was filed on the 24th. Dear Judge Vargas and Judge Ho, the government respectfully submits this letter regarding the two above captioned cases which rise out of related conduct and concern two co-conspirators. On September the 27th of 2024, defendant Adams was indicted by a grand jury in this district in 5 counts. Count 1 charges Adams with conspiracy to commit an offense against the United States in violation of, and they list the statutes. Count 2 charges Adams with wire fraud. Counts 3 and 4 charge Adams with soliciting campaign contributions by foreign nationals in violation of other statutes. Count 5 charges Adams with soliciting and accepting bribes, and the conspiracy charge in count 1 has multiple objects, of which one object is committing wire fraud through the collection of campaign contributions made under the name of someone other than the true contributor, and the subsequent request for public funds based on the misrepresentation to those contributions originated from the named contributor. Now, Adams was assigned to Judge Ho. 2 conferences have taken place before Judge Ho's defense motions. Defense motions have been filed and partly resolved, and a trial date has been set for April the 21st of 2025. Okay, this is right before Diddy's case because his is May the 5th. Now, on December 20th of 2024, the government submitted with the consent of defense counsel for Aridin Arkin a notice of intent to file an information as to Arkin charging him with conspiracy to violate the laws of the United States. The charged object of that conspiracy is committing wire fraud through the collection of campaign contributions made under the name of someone other than the true contributor, and the subsequent request for public funds based on the misrepresentation that those contributions originated from the named contributor. This conduct forms a part of the conduct charged in counts 1 and 2 of Adams's indictment, and Arkin is identified in the Adams indictment as businessman number 5. In connection with this case, Arkin has indicated that he wishes to plead guilty to the above captioned information. Okay, so now with that all being said, it doesn't sound to me as if this case for Mayor Adams is going so well. And the reason it likely isn't going so well, in my opinion, is because Mr. Spiro is so busy. Now, this is just alleged, trying to fatten his own pockets, trying to look out for himself. Why is he sitting up here worried about what these Turkish nationals are doing with this rideshare app? Okay, I want you all to pay attention. But hold on, because as I told you all, he's worked with Bobby Shmurda, and Bobby Shmurda said that he did him dirty. Okay, it basically says that he forced him to take a plea deal. Okay, basically says that he forced him to take a plea deal. Hold on, beloveds. I don't want to read this whole thing. In 2013, Spiro left the DA's office to work on the other side as a defense attorney with Ben Brofman, who had arguably perfected the celebrity super lawyer persona with clients like Harvey Weinstein, Sean Combs, Martin Shkreli, and the Nexium SEX cult. You all remember me talking about that. And then Jay-Z's civil case against Rockefeller Records co-founder Damon Dash. But Spiro's aggression has also led to some embarrassing moments. In March, a lawyer representing a man suing Elon Musk for defamation called Spiro astonishingly unprofessional for his conduct during a deposition and asked for the court to sanction him. Now, Bobby Shmurda, the Brooklyn rapper who pleaded guilty to conspiracy and weapons possession charges in 2016, accused Spiro of having forced me to take this plea, which Spiro denied. Now, who y'all believe, Spiro or Bobby Shmurda? In 2022, when Musk tried to back out of his $44 billion purchase of Twitter, Spiro led a quixotic, legally questionable crusade that a Delaware judge called absurdly broad. And that opened up Musk to embarrassing claims against him and his closest allies in Silicon Valley. Later that year, the New York Times reported that Spiro and Musk had a falling out over personal decisions at Twitter, and he was no longer working at the social media company, even though he continued to represent him personally. Still, his track record, particularly in criminal cases, shows that defendants would probably be better off with Spiro as their attorney. Now, with that all being said, when Mayor Eric Adams was accused of S assault, okay, Spiro said he wasn't going to represent him on that. He declined to represent him on the S assault and decided to take on the criminal case instead. Now, and then Kanye hired him. Kanye hired him when he was going against, he had this battle going on with The Gap. Kanye West hires Elon Musk attorney Alex Spiro to battle The Gap. Now, the rapper known as Ye has been locking horns with the apparel company over the pricing and design of the Yeezy collection at Gap stores. In an Instagram post Monday, West said that he wants Gap to give me all the clothes they are holding hostage in the office and in the warehouses. Now, he also mentioned Alex Spiro, misspelling the lawyer's name, but said that he would reach out to him. West terminated his partnership with The Gap after the retailer had breached the terms of their agreement during an appearance on CNBC. He said, "Everyone knows I'm the leader. I'm the king." This is what West said, wearing a large hat and sunglasses. Okay, and he said, "A king can't live in someone else's castle. A king has to make his own castle." Spiro, a partner of the Quinn Emanuel firm, is not new to rap because he's represented Jay-Z and Meek Mill. He will have to fit West in while trying to help Elon Musk terminate his $44 billion agreement against Twitter. That 5-day trial begins August the 17th. Now, mind you, this was in 2022. But so here's what happened. Kanye did hire him, but Spiro ditched him. Okay? He got the hell up out of there. Okay? I want y'all to pay attention. Left Kanye high and dry. Kanye West's lawyer, his lawyer, cut ties amid hate speech storm. Remember when they were saying all that stuff about Kanye and accusing him of being anti-Semitic or whatever? As corporations, including Adidas, AG, end multi-million-dollar deals with the artist formerly known as Kanye West following anti-Semitic comments, his lawyers are following suit. Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan partner Alex Spiro told me that despite recent reports that the rapper now called Ye was his client, he's not going to represent him. Okay, he's not going to represent him. Please pay attention. Ye asked me to be his attorney, but the representation never formalized. This is what he says. Whose other clients, this is what Spiro says, whose other clients include Elon Musk. I do not represent and will not represent Mr. West. Now, a Ye representative did not respond to a request for comment for this column. Now, here's the thing. So he ditches Kanye. He throws Kanye under the bus because Kanye was accused of being anti-Semitic. At the end of the day, one would think that if you were accused of such things, that your lawyer would stick by you. I mean, don't you think? I just find it all interesting. Okay? I find it all very interesting. Ahmadiyyah says Elon is no hero. No, he absolutely isn't. And I'm here to tell you that he's absolutely nefarious as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Would he have dropped Alec Baldwin? I have questions. Would he have ditched Elon Musk? Because here's the thing for you to pay attention to. Now, he ditched Kanye because some people were upset about some comments that Kanye made. Okay, he refused to represent Kanye, but him and Elon Musk got into a whole fallout. They had a whole knockdown, drag out fallout, got into a whole beef, but he still represented Elon Musk. I'm sorry, are y'all seeing where I'm going with this? Please pay attention. And now he's sitting here supposedly representing Mayor Eric Adams and acting as though he's working in his best interest. But at the end of the day, you just signed to be the board of directors for the very type of people that he's charged with, accused of, okay, indicted for being in cahoots with. How does that make any sense? And I'm here to tell you right now, all he's doing with Jay-Z at this point is just running up the tab, running up the clock. And how is he doing that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, by filing all of these frivolous lawsuits against Tony Busby, which are not going to stick, okay? This is all costing Jay-Z money. This is nothing but false hope. Like I told you on yesterday, you can sit there and try to sue an attorney for defamation because they filed civil suits against you, but that's not going to fly. That's not going to fly because Tony Busby did not defame Jay-Z by filing those lawsuits. Okay, he did that on the behest of his client or at the behest of his client. Now, if we allow people to start filing lawsuits for defamation because they're accused of things, filing defamation lawsuits against the lawyers who make these who file these suits against them, then the next thing you know, they'll be going after the judges. And with that all being said, then what happens? Well, the whole system falls apart. Okay? The whole system falls apart. At the end of the day, please pay attention. All right? TC Dan says now President Trump is BFFs with Elon. Well, Elon is the vice president. Elon is now the vice president. That's how that is. Okay, please pay attention. He is the vice president. No one has seen or heard anything from JD Vance. Not to my recollection, okay? And thank you for your insight into the topic and also your contribution to the page. Okay, peace, love, and blessings. It seems to me that Elon is running things. All right? Where is JD Vance? And why does Trump have this man with him everywhere he goes? Remember, I told you guys weeks ago that Trump even had Elon speaking to the president of Ukraine, Zelensky. Why is Elon on the phone speaking to him? Make that make sense. And not JD Vance. Now, let's finish up about this case with Mayor Eric Adams. Okay, Mayor Eric Adams' lawyer reveals recent witness grand jury testimonies in corruption case. A witness recently testified before the federal grand jury that indicted Mayor Eric Adams on corruption charges. This fall. his attorney revealed in a court filing Tuesday, indicating the Turkish-related investigation into the mayor is still very active. Are y'all listening? Are y'all hearing this? The Turkish-related investigation into the mayor is still very active. Well, of course it is. So why in the hell is his lawyer on the board of directors with Turkish officials? The filing from Alex Spiro, Adams' lead defense attorney, identified the witness by initials. The initials were redacted from the filing, making the identity of the witness unclear. Now, Spiro did not write that. He did write that a credible source told him that this past Sunday that the New York Times had confirmed the identity of the witness who recently testified before the grand jury and the sum and substance of what the witness's testimony was. Now, as of late Tuesday morning, the Times had not published any story about a new grand jury witness in the Adams probe. Spiro argued the only plausible source for the information, he says, was obtained by the newspaper, is the federal authorities leading the investigation into the mayor. Though Manhattan Federal Court Judge Dale Ho already rejected a request for Spiro last month for an evidentiary hearing into these claims about illegal grand jury leaks from prosecutors, Spiro says the judge should reconsider in light of the latest alleged disclosures. Let me tell y'all something. You know what I think is going on here? This sounds like, now this is just my opinion. I don't live in New York and I've never dealt with any of these people, but it sounds to me like the Southern District of New York deals in some shady practices. Now, on the one hand, we have Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's attorney, alleging that the prosecution has been leaking evidence, and Judge Subramaniam seems to not agree with that, but just warns them not to do so. But don't y'all think they're leaking information in Diddy's case? Because at the end of the day, how did that tape get out? Was it the prosecution or was it Cassie's attorney? I don't know. But why would the New York Post say that agents who want to remain anonymous have been giving them information? Even after, as I reported to you weeks ago, even after Judge Subramaniam warned them not to be leaking anything. Why haven't they been given any consequences? And now here we have another attorney accusing the prosecution of the same. That's what you ought to pay attention. Reiterating his past request, Spiro wrote in his new filing that Ho should sanction prosecutors over the alleged leaks up to and including dismissal of the indictment. Now, he's asking for an indictment dismissal just as well as Diddy's attorneys asked for an indictment dismissal because of said leaks, which could prohibit people from being given a fair trial. Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all paying attention? Okay, please pay attention. Now, to prevent further inevitable leaks, the court should exercise its equitable powers and halt any further grand jury proceedings pending the hearing and resolution of the motion. Now, a spokesman for the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office, which indicted Adams, didn't immediately return a request for comments. Spiro didn't respond to emailed questions on Tuesday about the recent grand jury testimony. Now, in a sign, he said he is displeased with the nature of the new grand jury testimony. Spiro wrote saying that it falsely suggests something, though it's unclear what that something is, as the rest of the sentence is redacted in his filing. Grand jury indicted Adams in September on 5 criminal counts, alleging he solicited bribes and illegal campaign cash, mostly from Turkish government operatives, in exchange for political favors. Adams has pleaded not guilty and is expected to stand trial in April, just weeks before he faces several challengers in June's Democratic mayoral primary. Who's really running the show here? Who's really running the show here? I have several questions. Like I said, is it Mayor Eric Adams? Or is it these attorneys like Alex Spiro? Now, it goes on to say, Spiro's latest filing comes after prosecutors from the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office said in open court in October they were quite likely to bring a superseded indictment charging the mayor with more crimes. The revelation that the grand jury has heard more testimony in recent weeks suggests prosecutors are still pursuing new evidence. Manhattan feds wrote in a filing Monday that Erdin Arkin, a Turkish-born businessman referenced in Adams' indictment as one of his co-conspirators, has confirmed that he plans to plead guilty to his role in funneling illegal straw donations, okay, to the mayor's 2021 campaign on behalf of the Turkish government. Now, I hope you all can see how this is problematic, how this is a whole conflict of interest. I really hope you all are understanding what I'm talking about here. The Turkish government, the entire Turkish government is involved in this. And you mean to tell me that it's okay, nobody has a problem with, nobody thinks that it sounds shady or sketchy for Alex Spiro to be in bed with these people, to be benefiting and making money from being the board of director and investing in this? How many shares does he have? I have several questions. Okay? I have several questions. We really don't know who's running what. Exactly. Midnight says, Decipher says, manipulating their own clients. Exactly. TC Dan said, that's a big deal. It is. Red Wine Entertainment says Adams is guilty and Spiro is too. I absolutely believe he is. And that's the point. Okay, what's really going on here? All right, Trump says he's willing to pardon him, but what about the others included in his group? Okay, yeah, what about the rest of them? Okay, I have several questions. All right, and thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. This is all so crazy. Bobo says this, wow, this is so corrupt. Red Wine Entertainment said Adams almost got away with it. Jeff ATL said, you mean pardoning Adams? Yes. Leon said, criminal enterprise at work. That's exactly what it sounds like, right? What are these people doing? The Fifth World said they're all working together to keep the people distracted and enslaved. They're definitely all working together. Okay, I just wanted you all to pay attention to that because, see, here's the thing. Remember how I told you that people, what I told you all about the Democrats, how they do something and then point the finger at their enemies and accuse them of doing the same thing that they're doing while they're doing it. That's what it sounds like is going on here. Okay, that's what it sounds like is going on here. Like Alex Spiro is pointing the finger at Mr. Tony Busby and accusing him of engaging in unethical and illegal practices, while at the same time, isn't that what it sounds like exactly what he's doing? And like I told you all days ago, that he's sitting up here filing all of these frivolous, in my opinion, lawsuits against Busby. And then it's already been alleged that other partners, other team members of Jay-Z's team have been engaging in corrupt practices. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Let me have a word from my sponsor so I can answer this door, beloveds. Hold on just a moment.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can order 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Now, don't y'all find this all very interesting? Because I do. Okay, I absolutely do. And like I told you guys days ago, it seems like he's filing, Alex Spiro, that is, filing all of these allegations against Tony Busby to keep him bogged down and to possibly try to get him off of the case. Okay? Like I told you guys, this is what happened in the case of John Gotti when they tried to tie them to the RICO case. Now, they didn't get charged with RICO, but his attorney was taken off of the case. All right, his attorney was taken off of the case. And that's exactly what it sounds like Mr. Alex Spiro is trying to do. Or have Tony Busby so bogged down fighting his own battles that he can't focus on the allegations that have been levied against Diddy. Okay, that are connected to Jay-Z. Okay, so I just want you all to pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I'm going live on the spiritual channel so we can finish up what we did the other day. The Outwitting the Devil audio that we're listening to. I'm going live on there at 12 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and share the link. Moderators, could one of you guys please share the link to that broadcast? We're going to be going live on there at 12 o'clock noon. If you saw part 1, You don't want to miss part 2. Okay, please pay attention. If you saw part 1, trust me, you don't want to miss part 2. Let me get this link right here. All right, so anyway, with that all been said, thanks, TC Dan. Now, there's the link to the channel, and more specifically, here's the link to the broadcast. All right, so with that all been said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. And listen, you guys keep your notifications on because I'm coming back later with some very interesting information on Jay-Z, okay? Yeah, I'm coming back later with some very interesting information on Jay-Z. So make sure you keep the notifications on. In the meantime, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got